Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, it is now a two-person race in the Republican presidential primary. And the nation's education secretary, as well as the director of cybersecurity, receive a tour at the Florida high school where 14 students and 3 staff members were killed back in 2018.
And enjoy the calm weather because we are tracking some soggy conditions for much of this week. Those details coming up as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Voters go to the polls in New Hampshire tomorrow for the first in the nation primary. The race for the Republican presidential nomination is now down to 2 people, former President Donald Trump and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley. And time may be running out for Haley to cut into Trump's big lead. CBS's Skylar Henry has more from Manchester, New Hampshire.
Happy pre-election day.
Nikki Haley is posing a question to New Hampshire voters as she campaigns ahead of tomorrow's primary contest.
It is now a 2-person race. And what that means is your decision tomorrow is, do we want more of the same or do we want a new generational leader?
Haley, who served as South Carolina's governor and as former President Trump's UN ambassador, is now the only Republican left challenging him after Florida Governor Ron DeSantis dropped out.
This helps Donald Trump even a little bit more.
Dante Scala, a political science professor at the University of New Hampshire, says DeSantis' voters are more likely to side with Trump, especially following the former president's strong finish in the Iowa caucuses.
There's this sense of inevitability, this aura of inevitability around Donald Trump. Nikki Haley needed to find a way to puncture that over the last week. I don't think she's done it.
Scala says Haley will need independents to come out in force Tuesday to pull off a surprise. Lucis Karihi says he's considering Haley because he doesn't want a Trump-Biden rematch.
With DeSantis out of the race, we now have 3 major candidates where it's Biden, it's Haley, and it's Trump. And I am so concerned about a Trump second term. Trump was at a courthouse in New York this morning, but he's due in New Hampshire tonight for a final rally before tomorrow's voting. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Raising new concerns about misinformation and AI in this campaign, a fake robocall impersonating President Biden is encouraging New Hampshire Democrats not to vote tomorrow. Former President Donald Trump gets another boost from the Palmetto State. Republican Representative Nancy Mace announced she's endorsing Trump in his 2024 campaign. Although Mace says she does not see eye to eye with any candidate, she's backing Trump because she believes the country was in better shape when he was in office. Mace's move is a snub against GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley, who had supported Mace in her 2022 primary. Court was canceled for E. Jean Carroll's civil defamation trial against Donald Trump today. Both Trump and Carroll were in the courtroom when the judge sent a juror home sick. The judge offered to proceed with 8 jurors, but Trump's team asked for the adjournment. They have also requested Trump be allowed to testify Wednesday. He cannot tomorrow because of the New Hampshire primary. The judge has not yet decided on whether to allow that. Today marks the 51st anniversary of the Supreme Court's landmark decision to legalize abortion in the case of Roe v. Wade. It was overturned in 2022. Since that decision, the Biden administration has been pushing back against conservative lawmakers, urging Congress to pass a federal law protecting access to abortion care. Deputy Director of the White House Gender Policy Council, Katie Keith, described other steps the administration is taking to protect abortion access.
We've done what we can to help ensure that women do get the emergency medical care that they need. We're working to strengthen privacy protections for patients and providers. We're really focused on expanding access to contraception, including under the Affordable Care Act.
She says though contraception is not a substitute for abortion access, it has become more important after the overturning of Roe and the spread of anti-abortion legislation across the country. The vice president is launching a nationwide tour for the protection of reproductive freedom later this month. The U.S. Supreme Court is allowing the Border Patrol to remove razor wire along parts of the U.S. southern border. In a 5-4 vote, the High Court handed the Biden administration a victory in its ongoing legal fight with Texas Governor Greg Abbott. The ruling applies to a section of the Rio Grande where state officials had blocked access to border agents. 3 migrants recently drowned in that area, which prompted the White House to press the Supreme Court to intervene. Authorities in Maine say 4 officers are on administrative leave after an officer-involved shooting. It happened late Sunday after police say officers responded to reports of a man threatening people with a gun. Investigators say the suspect fired on officers when they arrived, and they returned fire. No officers were injured. No information was released about the suspect's condition. We now know the identities of the 2 U.S. Navy SEALs who died off the coast of Somalia earlier this month. They were 37-year-old Navy Special Warfare Operation First Class Christopher Chambers and 27-year-old Navy Special Warfare Operator Second Class Nathan Ingram. The SEALs disappeared January 11th while trying to board a ship to search for Iranian weapons. One fell into the water due to 8-foot swells. The second SEAL disappeared after diving in to try and help. The nation's education secretary, as well as the director of cybersecurity, received a tour of Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida today. The school building has remained untouched since the 2018 mass shooting when a gunman killed 14 students and 3 staff members. Following the private tour, Miguel Cardona held a roundtable with a congressman who graduated from the school and Parkland families who continue to push for public safety reforms.
We must prioritize safety before education because you can't teach dead kids. And I think that once you walk through that building, you get it.
There's nothing more sacred than protecting our children and our loved ones and our educators who are working to help children reach their goals.
Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School is set to be demolished this summer.
We're tracking some dry weather across the mountains on this Monday evening. Check out this beautiful sunset from our camera in Perry County at Buffalo Mountain as we stay dry under some sunshine into this Monday evening. Those current temperatures also warmer, 47 for Jackson, also Manchester, 46 in Harlan, and 45 over in Laurel County for London. Now, last week we gave you the first alert for a warm up this week, and Mother Nature delivered. Check out these temperature differences, up to 24 degrees warmer in Pikeville, 22 degrees warmer in Jackson, and 20 degrees warmer over in London. So we are tracking some more warmer weather as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even into the first half of your weekend as well. Up on first alert pinpoint Doppler, as high pressure is the name of the game on this Monday, we are tracking some dry weather across our region. But notice as we zoom out, we are tracking some precipitation over Arkansas into Missouri, and this wet weather will continue pushing into our region as we go into as early as tomorrow. Some more rain chances on the way by Tuesday, and those rain chances stick around for much of this week. Also tracking some more above average weather, and be sure to enjoy the mild weather because we are trending cooler by Sunday, also Monday of next week. Those details plus your full 7-day forecast on the way in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you. Well, across the country, various weather patterns will impact millions of Americans differently this week. Another winter storm is set to hit parts of the plains and south, while warmer air moves into the eastern half of the U.S. But with those warmer temperatures also come potential hazards like ice and flooding. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez has more.
So far this month, back-to-back winter storms killed more than 80 people across 13 states. Severe conditions leaving people crushed under fallen trees, trapped in tornadoes, or involved in snowy car accidents. For Andre Murray, a volunteer at a homeless shelter in Kansas City, Missouri, it meant losing a friend.
We all family, we love each other, and we look out for each other, we pray for each other, but it's sad.
Now, nearly 70 million people from northern Texas to the Great Lakes are under winter weather alerts Monday. Weather officials and several local transportation departments urging people to use caution when driving or to just stay home.
Can I say crazy, but with the capitals?
In Michigan City, Indiana, Dave Westfall says he's been working nonstop for the last 3 days, plowing snow for residents and businesses.
I'm at people's beck and call because, number one, they have to get out. You know, I cater to the elderly. You know, thank God I got all new equipment.
Along the Gulf Coast and portions of the Southeast, approximately 37 million people are under threat of flash flooding and excessive rainfall this week. Rainfall totals over the next 5 days may reach 5 to 6 inches, with localized areas getting higher amounts. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
ExxonMobil is battling some of its shareholders who want the company to address climate change. The company is suing 2 investors that want shareholders to vote on a proposal calling for faster emissions cuts. Exxon has accused the investors of hijacking the process used for proposing shareholder votes to advance their own agenda. Exxon says the proposal does not try to improve the company's economic performance or improve shareholder value. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, if you wanted to give more in the new year, January is the perfect time to start that resolution. Tips to plan your charitable contributions.
Plus, a wet weather pattern is looming, timing out those rain chances after this break.